Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Delta Green tabletop role-playing game rules by Arc Dream Publishing. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Listeners should know that this podcast will include mature themes and scenes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, military organizations, and etc., which may bear resemblance to entities living, dead, or redacted, is completely coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your handler. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways Podcast. I am back as your handler, Michael Diamond. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm back with Osel for another wonderful operation ahead. And so at the top of the show, as I like to do, I'd like to thank you, the listener, and especially you, the Patreon supporter. If you've not had a chance to check out what we have to offer, you can on patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast. Come support us on YouTube. Come check us out potentially in a visual environment soon, if not already by the time this recording airs. And that said, I will, at the top of the show, just remind you that Delta Green is created by Arc Dream Publishing, and the Delta Green game that you're going to listen to is going to be done in a mature setting with mature players, and this game is in no way whatsoever meant for children. Okay? Wonderful. And now, cast introductions will begin to my right.
Hey, it's me, Miranda, and I play Dr. Aaron Weber. And I think Dr. Aaron Weber is just hanging out, waiting for that custody paperwork to land on her door for when, my child wants to go live with her dad, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it has not been a kind few years to Dr. Weber, but more on that later, I'm assuming. To Dr. Weber's right.
Hi, I'm Nate, your friend Nate in the Discords. I play Special Agent Elliot Winters, hard-working public servant with the U.S. Department of State. I'm just grateful for everything that the federal government still provides me.
Given the last time we saw Elliot on camera, I tend to agree with you. At the end of the table.
Hi, this is Allie. I play Agent Joanne Hart. And while I'm not suspicious to my coworkers, I am suspicious of my body.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. You should be. Especially after that last time we saw you. And last but most certainly not least.
Hi, my name is Tegan, and I'm playing Young Buck Hawking, Brett Hawking of the NCIS, which I don't know how long I've been an employee with them yet, but probably a while.
It's been a little bit. That's okay, though. So let me level set everybody, our audience and agents included. And so just so you know, you at home listening, agents are unaware of what the day or year is. And so I'll just tell them that the current date that their agents now get to experience the wonder and magic of, it is September 2nd, 2001. So most of their home sessions, which some of you may have listened to before this, were set in about 1998. So they'll advance themselves 3 years, and of course, all their dependents and people they know 3 years. And that'll change a few things. And so now, in September 2001, we'll pick up our story. Agent Hart, I'm going to begin with you, just like you were hoping for.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so enthralled.
Good.
Pleased.
I'm
going to be hurt, aren't I?
Well, we're going to find out if you've become some sort of hairy, nocturnal creature, I'm sure. It's been a good couple of years, honestly, for you and for work in general. You've managed to get a promotion at work. You are now a part of the director group, at least sort of small D director, where you work. This gives you the ability to get a hold of teams of people to go and do investigation work, especially given the current time in history. The provocative moves by the Chinese government have kept you on your toes. you are seeing a lot of activity in that theater. And it's really now you're starting to begin to think of those things as work as a theater, because that's really how all the people around you talk about them. And so you're just sort of adapting to the lexicon that they're giving. You've had no contact with any sort of secretive organization, likely any of your other former colleagues on those operations. There have been no videotapes which have surfaced. There have been no questions. You came back from your vacation after you went and vacationed in the mountains to attempt to get better and then failed miserably. Other than that, things have been fairly reasonable for you. It hasn't been all bad. Work around the office has been busy. There's a new administration that has come in. Obviously, the Bush administration won the last election. And so you now work under the careful and patient, if perhaps gullible, view of George H.W. Bush. His portrait hangs in your office.
Question for the handler. I am curious if that means that with essentially being more involved in the Chinese theater, if that means that I'm actually utilizing my Chinese language skill significantly more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You'd have to read dossiers and reports, most of which would be translated, but your ability to utilize that would be immensely useful to be able to not have to wait for the translation.
Okay.
It would also probably put you in on certain calls, governmental calls, to be able to hear information. You would probably be part of friendly parties who listen, so that way you can stay up to date, or you would get direct audio recordings of conversations that happen to sort of dispense and parse the information that's going on.
Okay.
And it's on this sort of day, this lazy Sunday, where you are just trying to relax before the beginning of a work week, an abbreviated work week, if memory serves correctly, because Labor Day is tomorrow, that your doorbell rings.
I'll go look out the people.
You go look out the people. There is a figure now leaving your yard and getting into a sedan. It drives away.
I'm going to open the door.
Okay.
And look at the stoop, because they didn't stay. That means there's probably something in front of me on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a certified letter.
I'll go outside to open it.
Okay. You go outside to open it. There is a single piece of paper in front of you.
Okay.
And it says, report to the University District Post Office in Berkeley, San Francisco, immediately. Destroy this message upon completion of reading. On the back side of the message, there is a carefully scrawled note in Sharpie, and it says, welcome to another night at the opera.
Oh no. I thought maybe I was done with this. It's been years. I haven't been called in. I have more important shit to do now, but I also know that whatever it is that they need is something that they need. And that means that by extension I need, and maybe it's a threat to national security, as everything always is during this time period.
It certainly could be.
So I will take the note inside and write down where I'm supposed to go, like just on a piece of paper that I can slide in, my general briefcase that I carry around. So that way I don't forget where I'm going. It's not something I tend to do, but especially if I end up in a lot of meetings before departure, I might space it out. So, and then I will take the note and I will put it through the shredder, and then I will put the shreds through the shredder and put it in a bag and throw it into the garbage. I was told to destroy the note.
That's very true. Okay, I'll leave you there. Agent Hawking, it has been about 3.5 years since we saw you on camera. You have had an opportunity to see your, I'll just say one of your children grow. And they're doing well. Very, very well. You've managed to work in a tactical and fiercely competitive environment in NCIS, and you have become a trusted source and agent. You now command your own field team when necessary, and you have made it to assistant branch chief. And so you're sitting under sort of the old and soon to be retiring branch chief, and you check your watch every day. And in a mere perhaps 96 days, he'll be vacating his position, and you are primed to take over. You've done all of the necessary politicking. You've done all of the required interagency important detail work to sort of shore up any required and necessary favors to land this position. This is a sought-after job. And you now have well over 5 years of experience at this office. And frankly, the incoming administration is very interested in paying attention to what goes on the home front. And that's great for you because it means funding, and it means with funding comes better budget and toys, and perhaps getting a chance to live a little in some respects.
I love it. It's good shit.
You're driving home one night when you pick up a call on your cell. It's your personal phone.
Yellow.
You hear a tone immediately, and then a couple of clicks. You've had enough signals intelligence to know that that probably means something. You hear a sort of smoky voice. It's a woman's voice on the phone. And it says, "You're needed tonight, as soon as possible. Berkeley, California." It dawdles out an address. "Don't be late. Your mission isn't over yet." The phone hangs up.
Fuck. Okay. And I'm in Virginia?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that sucks. Fuck, how do I get to I'll figure it out.
Probably Reagan National.
No, yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense. I gotta make an excuse. All right. Yeah, I'll come up with something. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I had to go into something. A case broke or something, and I gotta go and chase a douchebag down or something. Okay. I'm gonna use my secret credit card.
Oh, we're clearly the one your wife doesn't know about.
Absolutely. I'm gonna use that one to go ahead and book that flight, and then I'll go ahead and just I'll go ahead and make the call to my wife to let her know that I got pulled on emergency operation. Big stuff. It's going to be super cool, really good for promotion, and I will bring them something to say I'm sorry.
Sometimes that's all you can do. Okay. You make your arrangements quickly and swiftly and get moving to San Francisco.
Yep.
Elliot, your life has gotten fundamentally easier. Way less complicated now. It was tough at first, maybe for the first day or two, accepting that active duty really wasn't going to be in your future anymore. But as an analyst, you are allowed to grow a beard because you're not outward facing anymore. And you've managed to sort of grow this business beard. At least that's sort of what you're calling it. It's got a little gray in it now, but that's okay. Life is quieter here in the office that you've been directed to. So you are currently in Provo. The Provo office is very small by comparison to the office in New York City where you worked. And nobody here, well, nobody except maybe the director of this office is aware of sort of the circumspect way that you arrived here. and you do your work in a 9 to 5 manner, it's calmer here. It's quieter. It doesn't mean you don't think about things that have happened, but there is some steadiness, and that's what you appreciate. And September in Utah is beautiful. There's a lot of really wonderful landscapes to look at. You managed, when you moved from New York, to secure a handful of precious things. One, of course, being the painting that you took from Abigail Wright's basement. It was important. That man who was on fire walking down the stairs. You took a few other things too. Managed to scratch a few important symbols. Keep them in a desk drawer. You look at them every now and again just to make sure that they're still there. But I wonder, as 3+ years have passed, what's Elliot do on a Sunday?
Handler. I take my walks around the city. I moved, flew out, never bought a car. And so I am completely pedestrian and bike. And I enjoy the anonymous nature of that. I've got my beard, my hair's longer, my clothes are more shaggy, more comfortable, older. And I walk around Provo, parks and the playgrounds and the desert spaces and the green spaces. And I enjoy a life that is much smaller and much less encumbered. It's definitely the life that my first bureau assigned a mental health agent, and then the one that I found on my own after I'd completed the required therapy. It's one that my therapist thinks is also very healthy for me. And I am at one of my favorite parks. I've got my blanket laid out, sitting cross-legged, and I am meditating as I picked up about 1.5 years ago. Found it's helpful to quiet the noise and the static. And I'm just enjoying myself as I do. Trying not to think about everything that I've left behind and lost, and trying to be satisfied with what exists in front of me. Again, as my therapist has recommended.
Yeah. Some days are better than others. So far, today has been good. You've had an opportunity to look back on a bunch of different things and not feel the weight as much. And moreover, you get a chance to soak in the idyllic setting. There are lots of wonderful reasons to be in Provo. Lots. One of them is a park just like this. Simple people. There's a guy down in the corner across from the cafe who is just playing an acoustic guitar, just enjoying, not busking for money by any means, but just playing for the enjoyment, the pure enjoyment of it. It's on this sort of stage that you're sitting on that you notice an older man. He's probably in his 60s or 70s. And he's making his way down the walking path. You're just off that walking path. And he's making his way down the walking path towards you. And he catches your eye for a couple of different reasons. He seems familiar to you in a strange sort of way. You simply can't place it, at least at first. He shuffles, doesn't walk with a clean stride at all. You see him sort of favor one of his legs, his right leg. Doesn't walk with a cane, though, so it can't be that awful bad. You see he's staring at you as he's walking closer.
He's walking towards me or just adjacent?
He's walking towards you, but that's true because he's walking on the walking path. And so really anybody who would be on the walking path would be technically walking towards you.
No, I'll give him a little two-finger salute against my brow, as dudes in 2001 would do.
He continues walking towards you, and he stops, and you see him reach into his pants pocket. He's wearing slacks, not jeans. He reaches in and he fumbles out a pack of cigarettes. And he begins to slowly turn towards you. Opens this pack. It's Marlboro Reds. And he extracts something from it. And he just sort of casually reaches out towards you. Now, he's probably 10 feet away from you. But you see him reaching out towards you with something.
I'll start getting up and I'll say, I tried to quit. I tried to stop smoking a while ago, but I'm going to still reach out to take it. And I don't want to start again. I don't want to start smoking again. I'm done smoking. I thought I was done smoking. Okay.
You take this thing from him. You take this cigarette from him. And he reaches in and he offers you a light. And when he reaches up and offers you that lighter, for just a second, it looks like a gold-plated Zippo. It looks very familiar for just a moment. And there's that spark and flash just after the click from the Zippo. And then your cigarette is lit. And then muscle memory begins to take over. You inhale and you feel your brain for just a moment sort of set on fire by the chemical reaction, by all those little molecules inside your brain that are reconnecting, that have been so desperate to connect again. And you exhale. And when you exhale, you see that the old man is halfway across the park in his shuffling gait. And in your hand, there's a card, tiny one, business card style. And on the front of it, there is the address for a post office in Berkeley, California.
Anything on the back?
Absolutely. On the back is printed in easily readable typeface for perhaps an older gentleman like yourself. It says, "Welcome back to the opera, Agent Winters."
And I'll put it in my pocket. And I'll continue smoking. And I will start crying. And I will get ready to pack and go to the Greyhound station for the 20-plus hour ride to California.
So for all of you, Sunday in San Francisco is quite something. It does sort of occur to most of you probably that the post office is closed, which we'll get to in a second. What we need to cover is our dear doctor, Dr. Weber, who has for now lo these many years fallen on some harder times.
Mm-hmm.
So when we last saw Dr. Weber on camera, she sort of painfully lost her job. And the relationship with her daughter, Holly, had deteriorated for a number of reasons. Holly is now a mid to late teen, if my memory serves correctly.
14. She's 14 now.
She's 14 and opinionated. With the custody not totally reversed, but sort of in reversed style, you see her a couple weekends a month.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't talk to you very often, but you do what you can to muddle through. Adam, your ex-husband, has recently gotten a pretty nice promotion at work. And so he is going to probably be moving out of the New York area into sort of the New Jersey suburbs for a larger house. He is recently remarried and things are looking up. So I guess I'd like to ask, after the job sort of goes up in flames.
Yep.
What would Aaron do for just common everyday work?
Mm-hmm. I think Erin would try to get by on whatever she has saved up for a while, because Mike, the raccoon has acid blood, and there's a lot in there that I have to focus on for a while. I think it's going to take Erin a long time to get over that, and the only way out is through sometimes. So she'd probably dig herself into a deep, deep hole of nonsense where her sister and parents are probably greatly worried about her. And eventually the cash is going to run pretty low and she's going to have to get a job. I think Erin thinks that a university job would be a nice gig for her and maybe get a nice TA. That's what Erin would look for, would be something in the chemistry field, maybe not another government job that didn't go so well and also just didn't provide the flexibility that I need to dissect monster raccoons. So I think I would go for you try to find a university job. Yep.
Yeah. So I would say with Dr. Weber's acumen, like the raw skill, it's likely she would be able to land a university job. It's probably likely that she would be able to recover at least a little bit financially. You're probably still in the same apartment. You're probably still living day to day with that thing in your freezer.
Mm-hmm.
Life is definitely different from you. I don't imagine she reaches out and creates a social life so much.
No.
Given that she was so hell-bent focused on her, the job.
Yeah, no, Erin definitely wouldn't lean on friends, I don't think, especially after how her sister reacted to the whole raccoon business. I think at some point Erin would try to feel her friends out, especially her friends that are maybe more biology oriented, and it would probably push them away more than anything. When I'm talking about this raccoon, I might show it to a couple of them even. I'm not sure if they think it's like roadkill or whatnot, but that's not great. Holly, like you said, I get her like 2 weekends a month, and she pretty much wants nothing to do with me, and she just kind of like drops her stuff off at my house and then goes and hangs out with friends all weekend.
Yeah, that's really what I was thinking, actually. I think that she has a very sort of close, narrow life in that sense socially. It's probably easier for you to just focus on your work and dedicate yourself to that rather than, try to complicate things with friendships. So one of the weekends that you're not watching or having your daughter over, you're doing sort of the rhythmic thing that you would normally do on the weekend, which is prepare a place for me to take this specimen out and then go to another section of it after it dethaws and begin working through this piece. And you have been over and over and over this thing. You've gleaned a lot of information. You have gleaned a lot of really interesting, but in air quotes, educational items, but they're really not something you can share with almost anybody. And so that's sort of maybe a main frustration. It would be nice to have an outlet to somebody who cared. Barring that, you at least have, this and the, Mrs. Stover's in the oven. But that said, your phone rings. Not your cell phone, but the house phone that you have, which is a shock because no one ever calls.
Yeah, that's weird. Whatever, I'll pick it up.
You pick it up and you hear a male voice, a deep male voice say, "Come to the front door."
Erin's heart starts to race. She is excited at the prospect that something might be happening. And so she just drops the phone, corded. It just, hangs. I never upgraded to the cordless. It's still corded in the kitchen. And walk over to the door, open it really fast.
Behind the door, you see a African-American gentleman. He is probably in his mid-40s, early 40s, maybe mid-40s at this point. You've seen this man before. You saw him 6 years ago in Washington Park. And then again at a gas station right before you went back underground. This is Marcus.
Oh, it's you. It's you.
He steps in.
It's not another you. I mean, a different one.
He shuts the door. He locks the door.
Oh, okay.
Are you alone, Weber?
Yeah. No one's. I mean, my birds are here, and they will say what you say, but if it's only once, I don't think they'll learn it.
What is that smell?
The birds. There's a lot of birds.
That's not that. Never mind. How you doing? Government work didn't seem to work out for you.
Nope, sure didn't. Probably all the time I took off, but it's fine because I've got this university job, and I mean, the class is practically. I have a TA. It practically teaches itself. I just gotta, every once in a while, publish a paper or something, and everything's good. Why are you here?
Why am I here?
Yeah, is there more work to do?
You have somewhere to go.
Oh, okay. Where?
San Francisco. He reaches inside his jacket pocket and produces what looks like a thicker envelope. I would have contacted everybody personally, but the old squad's kind of dispersed a little bit.
They're all coming?
You're a team, Weber. That's how this works.
Well, I mean, I know that, I guess, but they're all still alive and fine. They're fine. And they're coming too.
It's the 21st century. Fine's relative.
Well, that's a good point, I guess.
You'll find a plane ticket in there,
Okay.
and there's some cash, because being a university teacher, I'm sure it'll help.
Yeah. No, yeah, it will. Thank you. Thanks.
I think it's right up your alley. He sort of like looks around the apartment and like the, half frozen cadaver thing that's sitting on your dining room table.
Oh, that. Are there more of those things?
You sound a little hopeful.
Well, I'm a person of science, and it's fascinating.
There's an agent in San Francisco. He'll brief you. An older guy. You should be able to trust him.
Okay. Who is he?
He sits down like at your table.
Oh, can I get you something to drink, or?
No, I'm not staying.
Oh, okay.
His name's Drake. He's done this longer than I have.
Oh. Okay.
You're going to help him. You and the whole team are. This is his last ride.
He's retiring? Or?
That's the best way to put it, yeah.
Okay.
It's important to him to get this one closed out. You and the team are going to help him close it out. And it deals with some pretty strange stuff. We'll just say there's some things you shouldn't put through the mail. Anyway, before I go, do you need anything?
So unless you have more of those things, no, I think I'm fine.
Well, you need to be there tomorrow. Plane tickets for about 2.5 hours from now. So pack up.
Oh, okay. I open a closet and I have a bag packed already. Just ready to go. I've been waiting for this moment.
You see a nod of approval from Marcus. There's a reason why we keep agents like you around, Dr. Weber. You're always ready.
Invested mentally.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
He stands up and unlocks your door and then casually just walks out as simply as he came in. So Sunday in San Francisco again is a nice time. Beautiful weather. Most of you arrive by plane. One of you arrives by bus. The safe way to do things. Around noon, which is when some of your paperwork mentions you to be there, you arrive at a post office, the University District Post Office in Berkeley, just across the bay. You all realize the post office is closed on Sunday. That's sort of part of, well, the secrecy of it. But I'd love to get from each one of you an idea, two things. One, who the first to arrive is. I think that's probably going to be Dr. Weber. She will find a way to get there first. She's probably sitting in the parking lot waiting for everybody with like the suitcase, the backpack, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would, I'd love for each one of you to tell us visually how 3.5 years has changed you as a person as the last time we saw you on camera.
Well, I've gotten older by approximately, I'd say like 3 years. But I think Erin looks tired than usual. She stays up a lot of nights researching, dissecting things, just little couple square inches at a time is what she goes through. Really, this thing looks like it's been through a blender. She didn't bring it with her. Don't worry about that. That's okay. I didn't dry ice it here. But I will be thinking about it and checking my diagrams. But also, a physical change of Erin is that there are tiny acid burns, like pockmarking her arms from the acid blood that the raccoon has. So, and it's hard to account for that as it thaws. And so maybe a couple of times things got a little squirty and got on Erin's arms and a couple spots on her face. So she's 1, tired, 2, a lot more gray in the hair area. And I guess in her general area, like just generally, she looks a little more sickly. A little bit of acid burny, but not too bad. It's like you can't really notice it unless you know Erin close up. But really just more tired and gray. That's about it.
Okay. So who's next to arrive?
Probably me.
Okay. So, Agent Hart, give us a walkthrough.
I'll have my signature briefcase with me wherever I go. It does not have a corpse in it, thankfully. But, like Dr. Weber, I look older. I've got some graying in my hair, but I'm also, in some ways, more put together. My clothes are essentially cleaner, more fitted. Having a promotion has helped with being able to heighten some of the aspects of my life that weren't as good before.
So, who's next? Hawking?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I show up. It's okay. Young Buck is still young. I don't know why y'all got gray hair. I'm 30 this year. Yeah, I'm showing up in basketball shorts. They're purple and orange. And they sport my team's logo on the side. For my shirt, I'm going to have a black t-shirt with a Nike swoosh over the right breast. And I'm going to have a ball cap on. And the ball cap is also going to be basketball themed.
Brett, what is your team?
Phoenix Suns.
The Phoenix Suns. So I'm just rolling up totally casual, like I'm a normal person going to a post office in 90-degree weather.
Okay. All right. So Winters.
Winters gets into Oakland. I think it's West Oakland, actually. Oakland, the Greyhound bus station, and gets off. He's sporting his members only jacket. He looks a little older, a little more than 3 years older than he looked last time we saw him. But he walks a lot better. So he has been on a regimen, personal health and wellness journey in Utah. Lots of yoga, lots of walking, lots of strengthening, and that's good because he's walking to the post office. He arrives last because it's about 5 miles. And as we all know, San Francisco area, Berkeley, just wonderfully walkable around the highway and such. So it's a little bit of a adventure in certain places. And at one point he takes his jacket off and puts it in the backpack that he's wearing. Then he also puts the revolver that he had tucked into the back of his waistband in his backpack as well. There's a reason why Winters travels by bus nowadays. And as he's approaching, I will note my former compatriots. I'm cheered up when I see the Phoenix Suns logo. Oh, that must be... I thought he was being promoted to station chief. He doesn't look like... I wonder if maybe he changed... Then I'll walk up and I'll say hello.
You look like a narc.
Technically, Brett, I am. Technically, I am. You look, I don't know. You look like one of the kids at the park that I won't let my daughter talk to. What's this get up?
I look like a normal person. So I take it this is one of those kinds of things, if you're here.
That's the only... You would not believe who I ran into. Gold lighter, a limp, like a nightmare from the past.
Is this your op? Have you graduated to...
Oh, no. No, not at all. Did you know that there is a state office in Utah? Did you ever realize that?
For your org? Well, who do you work for again?
International Narcotics Law Enforcement Affair. I took a little sideways venture in my career. I do a lot of research now. How about you? How about you all? Hart, good to see you. Weber, good to see you.
Oh, shit.
Hey, guys. Hey.
You look like crap.
Yep. Thank you. The raccoon's blood is acid. So thank you for that. Did you guys talk to Marcus too? He told me that you were all gonna be here.
Wait. What did you just say? What did you just say? Wait, let's just hold on. Hold on a second. Doctor.
What?
Doctor, we're not gonna put that on the floor. What do you mean the raccoon's blood is acid is something you just said?
Yeah.
Is that the meaning of all this? The raccoon's blood is acid? How do you know this? Why do you know this? What?
I cut it open and it got the acid on me and I neutralized it with a base.
Oh.
Well, why in the hell did you do that? Why'd you do that?
I wanted to see what was inside.
Well, I thought I had a hard time of it. Jesus. Okay.
Are you okay, Dr. Weber?
Yeah. I'm cool. I'm glad to see you guys though. Marcus said we're a team now.
Marcus.
Yeah, he stopped by my apartment.
Man, that son of a bitch said we would never talk or see him again, if I remember correctly, and he just showed up at your apartment?
See, that's exactly how I was feeling, Winters, that son of a bitch.
He came to my home. Yeah. And it was so weird because he came in and he sat down, but then he said he wasn't staying, but it was strange because he came in and sat down at my table and he commented on my birds and the raccoon.
Oh, you still got your... Wait, what do you mean the raccoon? That was years ago. How did he come? Did you stuff the raccoon? What did you do?
No, it doesn't decompose much if you freeze it.
Dr. Weber.
What?
You should have gotten rid of that by now. It's not good to dwell on that thing for so long.
No, it's fine. It's fine because I have a new job now. At the university, and it's fine. Oh, shit. I forgot to tell my ex that I was leaving town again.
Do you need to call him?
They'll probably figure it out. I'll call later.
Okay.
How have you been, Agent Hart?
But yeah, Winters, I'm going to give this like long side-eyed of Dr. Weber and kind of look between the two of us. I'm doing okay. There's a lot happening overseas. That's about all I can say.
Oh, you with intelligence?
Yeah.
All that. That's rough. I went crazy and lived underneath my cabin for a couple months, so I'm doing okay.
Well, I mean, I stalked a house that I thought people were disappearing into because clearly there's a pattern that we've been tasked, which is old, creepy, ancient, haunted, bullshit portal buildings. And I spent a few weeks there and I was wrong.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you were wrong, at least.
This feels different, though.
Back door pops open to the post office. Hard, sort of metal man door opens up. See a gentleman walk out. You see a young, fit African-American man in khakis and a black polo shirt. He has a sidearm holstered on his right-hand side, and he looks like he could probably run a good couple of miles before getting tired. He steps over to the group of you and says, you all ready to come inside?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, just push past him and I walk inside. There's air conditioning inside the federal building. I'm going inside.
100%. So the gentleman in the polo and khakis, he directs you where you need to go within the facility. It's, of course, closed, so there's nothing as far as staff going on. Everything looks like it's dead, empty, quiet. He says, I'm Inspector Baldwin with the Postmaster General's office. I've been made aware that the four of you are competent in your fields, and hopefully you can help us with this mystery.
Yeah, is there some guy named Drake here? Is that...
Yes, Agent Drake's already inside.
Oh, okay.
I have a big question
For who?
for you.
In character, out of character?
In character.
Okay, go ahead. You have a big question.
Do we have to investigate a building?
He stops. No, ma'am, I don't think so.
Oh, good.
I haven't been briefed on what you're supposed to do. I'm just here to make sure that you get to where you need to go.
Oh, okay. And my entire face just like falls like, oh, we don't have to. Oh, we might still have to go to a building.
I move up next to Hart and I'm just like, I'm so glad we're not, the architectural, division of the organization.
Well, we don't know that. I asked and I was just told where we need to go. We might still have to go to a building.
He's walking you through the letter sorting center, and you get eventually basically dropped off in a break room with tables and a refrigerator. To you, Hawking, this looks standard government issue break room. Not a whole lot of surprises here, except for that guy. There's a guy at the end of the break room. He has white hair. He's wearing a black suit, white shirt, black tie. Looks very fed in that regards. He has a cup in front of him. Not sure what's a styrofoam cup. Probably comes from that styrofoam cup holder there on the wall. There is a pot of coffee, which is on one of those double burner coffee pot deals that Bun makes. There's a smell in the air of burnt coffee. And when you step in, the man with the pistol who escorted you here steps in and shuts the door. And the older man stands up. He adjusts himself just a little bit, make sure that his suit's on correctly. He's definitely a senior officer of some sort. And I mean that with a capital S because his white hair, cracked complexion, and a little bit pale skin tone give you a little bit of the willies. He looks a little weird. He looks exhausted.
Well, he'll fit in just fine with us.
He looks you up and down for a moment, Agent Hawking. They don't teach you how to dress at NCIS?
Yeah, because I always wear a 3-piece suit to a Sunday, op meeting in the back of a post office.
Well, I thought you took your job seriously, so don't get me wrong. He reaches down and he picks up a box. A sealed box, cardboard. And he sets it on top of the table. We have a problem. You need to solve it. And that's where I'm going to call our episode to a close. So thank you so much for joining us and rejoining us on the Old Ways podcast, Delta Green Adventures with Ocel. We won't necessarily put a title to this one just yet, but I'm certain one will come to us in the near future. And so thank you and good night.